Having instructions to find work is helpful. I hope you find it helpful. I'm giving instructions about how to engage the New Zealand market. And of course, you know, the old saying about, you know, men don't read the manual. They just, you know, learn by mistakes, you know, fixing the lawnmower or whatever it is. But reading the instructions do help when you really need to get through an issue. So I hope when you actually come up against an issue and you actually need to get through, have a look at those instructions and see what they say, because it's there. And if there's any confusion, or if you just prefer, you can send me an email. I'm always happy to help. So right now, I'd like to deal with the issue about engaging the market and coming up on that first call and how to accomplish what you need to accomplish on that first call. It needs to happen for a number of reasons, the first call. You always call first before you send the CV. And you exhaust all the options of the first call before you send the CV. And what are those options? There are many. There should be no more than 5% of the time that you are unable to get through to a decision maker. In other words, 95% of the time, you should be able to get to a decision maker. And I know it is a little bit more challenging for some industries and some sectors of the economy. They're just all delegated to recruiters, or big corporates, they delegate to their own website and system there. So there are some exceptions, but even in these exceptional cases, what I'll do, because it's so important, is I'll call the office and I'll go to their HR department and I'll try to get a name anyway, because that name is valuable. And if I can have a chat, I'll have a chat, because it's worth it. The straight answer is why all that effort is worth it is you get the process of personalization, which separates you out from everyone else, and that's so important. And that's what I think is the first reason for making that first call. You separate yourself out from the pack. You start personalizing yourself as well. These are two different issues, but they're accomplished at the same time. The other thing that I suggest about that first call, why it's so important, is you get a sense of where they are with regard to being a foreigner. You're a foreigner, right? You need a job offer, right? Not every company's happy about that. That's true. Some of them don't want to go through the process. Other companies are happy about that and they welcome it. Wouldn't you like to know the difference between those two companies? Of course you would. So make the call. It's only a simple process that I've outlined there very clearly. And if you follow the process, you should get results. And if you don't, you should call me. You should call me and get some help. And I'm happy to help. Hey, look, not everyone is a mechanic. Not everyone is a brain surgeon. I've done this for 25 years in the corporate world, and I've done it specific to recruiting, which is about vetting people and getting, you know, the interest of employers in people, in profiles. I've done that for 11 years. Quite intensely. I've seen 5,000 job placements. That was before I started this job. So I've seen quite a bit more. Not thousands more, but I've seen quite a bit more. I have a lot of experience there to offer. Only an idiot would have nothing to offer to you. And I'm not an idiot. So give me a call. Give me a hint that you need some help. And I'll be happy to do that. The first call is very valuable. You set yourself apart. You make that first email more valuable. You inoculate the first email from being thrown in the trash can by that first person who's usually a junior in the filtering process, that first person at the top of the filtering process where all the CVs drop in, hundreds per role sometimes, at least 50. That's just a low average, 50. You're going to get 50 CVs. And that junior's processing it. And if the junior sees South Africa, sometimes the junior, who doesn't know so much about the role very often, they'll put that aside. They might not throw it away. They'll put it aside. They might throw it away. They'll put it aside anyway, because it's a too hard basket. Let me deal with something I understand. I'm new here. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I want to perform. I have a limited time. All these pressures on that person. See, if you think about the system, all this starts to make sense. Think about the systems that they have in place, why they're in place, cost efficiency, effectiveness. Give me the top 3 candidates. That's the command. To who? To a junior. The junior with what resources? Not much. It's nothing wrong with the person and nothing wrong with the system. It does work, but it doesn't work to your advantage. So I've given you a process that works to your advantage. Please use it. If you don't know how to use it or it's not working, it might not be your fault. Maybe I was unclear, but it does work. Give me a call. I'll do a live marketing session with you in real time. We'll find the targets in real time. I'll call them in real time. You'll see the actual statistics with me, where I'm successful, where I'm not. And I'll call a number of clients for you and represent you as I do, you know, as any recruiter would do. Except I'm not a recruiter. I don't take money. So it's easy. It's easy for the client to hear me out, you know? And it's just a few questions. And you get so much from that. And it's, what is it? A little bit of initial discomfort, right? Let's face the fact. There's a little bit of discomfort in calling a company and asking a few questions. There is, I'll admit. But when you really look at it, there shouldn't be. And when you really do it, it diminishes. And when you do it a few more times, it disappears. And you have no more hesitation or problems in this area, because it really is a few questions. It really is an objective that makes sense to them, makes sense to you, and you find out the answer. Will they hire a South African who requires a job permit if that South African is completely suited for the role as you believe you are? Boom. Say it in your own words. Say it in your own way. Make it real. Don't script it too much. Unless it helps in the beginning, that's fine. But you want to move away from the script. Be yourself. And you'll get results. And you'll set up that first email with your profile, because it will be looked at now. And you've got a name at the top that says, "Dear whatever," the person you called. So that the junior at the top of the filter doesn't throw it away. They pass it on, right? And it goes to that decision maker, the final decision maker. The chances are much greater, right? It gets to them more often. And the decision maker looks at your CV, understands who you are, right? And then you call for the feedback, and then they're forced to think about you again. You know, not forced is a strong word, but you know, it comes that way. Got the call? Oh, but have you looked at my CV? Well, actually I have, but I haven't studied it. That's the answer, because it's too hard basket. But it gets pulled out of the too hard basket now because you made the feedback call. All this makes perfect sense. I've layered it for you. We prepared for it in the video CV session. And we prepared for the video CV session in our first call. We've got our first call where I get to know your strengths. We've got the video CV where you explain your strengths and I help bring it out, and you help me help bring it out. And then we've got the process of engaging the market that's also layered. And this layering goes to the meeting, and the meetings go to the job offer. And your trip to New Zealand has meetings. It also has warm calls. It has people that you can visit, even if they are not really interested to meet with you yet because of some complication in the process. Anything can be there. You know, they'll give you some reason why they can't schedule a meeting. That's fine. You leave it alone. You be positive and persistent. Persistent professional. And you get results at the end of the story, and you learn something along the way. You avoid all the form letters that everyone else is getting. You avoid all the no communication that everyone else is getting. And you do it the way that I've seen happen successfully so often, and a way that's so much better than the standard way that people engage this broken employment market. You deserve better. So ask for help. The tools are there. Learn what you can and jump on, because it's going to be the ride of your life. In fact, it's the most important ride of your life. Let's take it seriously. It's just a few questions.